Hello and welcome to Plumbing Solutions Educational Series. In this episode I want to talk about recirculator pumps. Now you might ask, well, what's a recirculator pump? Well, why might I want one in my house? Well, let's just say you've got a water heater in a remote location, or you've got a bathroom all the way on the other end of your house, and every time you go in that bathroom and turn that hot water on, it takes 3, 4, 5 minutes before you even start getting warm water. The whole time water's going down the drain, your water meter's out there spinning, your water bill's going up and up and up. Well, a recirculator pump is designed to alleviate that, taking that time from minutes to just a matter of seconds. Now this is an accessory for your water heater. These pumps here are for a conventional style water heater, a tank water heater. They don't work for tankless water heaters because they don't run off of enough flow rate to kick in that initial fire up time. They do have recirculator systems for tankless water heaters, or you can buy a tankless water heater that's already equipped with a pump and a recirculator system. These two pumps are actually identical pumps. These are the ones we use. The only difference is this one is more of your older style. They're starting to phase this one out, but it's got an analog clock, which is pretty easy to set its times just by clicking these little switches on and off. But you can only program it for set times, not a whole lot of diversity there, where this one here is the newer one that comes with a digital wall clock, wall timer, where you plug this into the wall and plug your pump into there. This one, you can set days on this one, so you can set times for specific days. You can set it up for every Monday through Friday. I want it to go ahead and bring the hot water to me at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then maybe on the weekend I don't want that to happen until about 8 o'clock in the morning. A lot more range with this one as far as your times and your programming. A little more difficult to set, but once you learn how to do it, it's not so bad. Now, how does this do it? How does it do it? How does it recirculate that water? You have to have some type of bypass. Either, if you know about it beforehand, like at your rough end construction, you can run a dedicated return line, which is probably the most efficient way to do it. But if the house is already finished, or if it's an older house, you're not really going to run that dedicated line because you'd have to be tearing open walls and stuff. So in the kit with the pump, they have this little thing called a bypass. And now this is going to go under any lavatory sink anywhere. The best would be the farthest away from your water heater. It's got a little valve in it that's operated by heat. So as long as it's cold, it's going to be letting that water bypass with the pump pushing it. When it heats up, the little valve in here is going to shut off, and it's going to stop that recirculation. But your hot water is already there at the sink, and that's how this little guy works. It's a pretty neat system. It's a solution for those hot water issues, and in the long run, it can save you a lot of money in electricity by heating that water, by running that water, and it's going to save you on your water bill, of course, because you're not going to have that waste. Now let's go out in the training center, and I'm going to show you how to install one of these. It's pretty easy. Alright, here we are in the training center. I'm going to show you how to mount this pump. It's really simple, really easy. This is going to go on the top of your tank water heater on the hot side. It has a swivel nut here on the bottom that has a pretty thick, heavy washer in it. And now, according to the manufacturer, they say don't use any Teflon tape or pipe dope on this connection. So you're going to place that on there and screw it down. Real simple, real easy. And then secure it with your channel locks. Now, in order to tie this into your system, you're going to have to put an adapter on top of here. We use PEX, so I have a 3/4 female PEX adapter. If you're using CPVC, there's adapters for that, or you can get those flex lines. If you're using one of those flex lines, it's got that washer in it as well, and you won't have to use Teflon or pipe dope. But with one of these, you're going to have to use your Teflon tape. Now I've already prepped mine here, but you're going to wrap that with Teflon tape. My rule of thumb is 8 times around with that tape. And you're going to mount your adapter, and of course tighten it down with your channel locks. And then after that, you're pretty much tied in. You do want to make sure that this timer is facing out to where a homeowner or whoever can access it and program it and everything. But from here, you would just go ahead and tie your PEX in. I'm not going to do that in this video because I don't want to mess up what the guys had going here. But that's pretty much mounting the pump. You're going to want to turn the water on and get water back in the system before you plug this guy in. But let's move on to the second part. Alright, installing your bypass. Now you're going to want to put this guy on the farthest lavatory away from your water heater, or the one that you have the concern with. Now your bypass is marked hot side in, hot out, cold in, cold out. This is pretty simple to do, but first of all, you're going to have to take your supply lines down. Now I went ahead and removed my P-trap and my tailpiece, my pop-up assembly, just so we can kind of see what's going on here. So let's take our pliers and pull these lines down. Alright. Now with these supply lines, kind of like the bottom of the pump, it does have a rubber washer seal in there. So you shouldn't have to use any Teflon tape, but I have seen the guys use just for a precaution, just once or twice around, just something simple. But your lines come down. I'm on my cold here. I'm going to line it up with my cold on my bypass, being careful not to cross thread it or strip it, and of course you're going to get it tight and then give it a little crank with your pliers, and then you'd mount your hot on the other side that says hot in, and kind of put that out of the way. These lines are for hooking up onto the bottom of your lavatory. Here again, these do have those little washers in them, so you're just going to want to get that tight. We'll hook that in. We'll hook this in, and then you're going to want to snug it down. And your last step here would be to hook these into the top where it says hot and cold out, and we'll screw those down, and then of course get them snug with your channel locks. And your bypass valve has 2 holes here. Now when you set this up, you're going to want those words facing out to you so you can read it, and that way you know you've got it hot and cold right, because if you flip this around and you hook those things up backwards, it's not going to work properly. But last thing, you're going to take this and you're going to find a good spot in that cabinet, and you're going to run 2 screws in there. Any screws would work, but I would prefer your black sheetrock screws because they're going to kind of camouflage themselves a little bit. But that's pretty much it. Now you're ready to turn everything back on and test it and program your pump and see how things work for you.